Hey there guys and gals, welcome back to Back Pocket Game Reviews, and today we're going to talk about some stuff going down with EA. Well, and publishers in general. So recently, as a gamer, it's got to be kind of obvious that loot boxes, microtransactions, all of this stuff is kind of here to stay. At least for the time being. According to what I hear, the FTC is going to be having some kind of like town hall meeting to try to get the stuff sorted out and figure out what direction they want to go with it. However, some games, obviously, I recently talked about Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and the fact that it has loot box, microtransactions, season pass, literally anything you could have monetized in that game, they monetized. And while it is all cosmetic, so nothing really like too heartbreaking, there does come like a point of where it's, how far is too far? How many microtransactions can we squeeze in becomes anti-consumer? How many before people just stop buying our game? Obviously, right now, EA's big game that is out is Anthem. Anthem is very much so where EA put a lot of the eggs in their basket. And while some people are absolutely loving Anthem, there are also a lot of people that aren't really enjoying it. A lot of people are saying it didn't offer too much. And I really don't know about the microtransaction system, but that's also not a huge point of where I'm going with this. It's gotten terrible reviews. Overall, it's just not getting super well received. And that's going to be a problem. A big problem. Specifically for BioWare more so than anyone else. And don't get me wrong, I am a huge BioWare fan. I loved the Mass Effect trilogy. I'm going to emphasize trilogy. Andromeda was kind of trash. Even the Dragon Age games, the only one I played was Inquisition, and I got most of the way through the first one. But, you know, when you look at BioWare, they're one of the most iconic developers. They even gave you KOTOR, or the MMO version of it that came out not that long ago. I believe in like 2011, 2012, somewhere in there, which actually was really good. I did pre-order and play that on PC. Yeah, I know, it's very rare that I pre-order and play something on PC. Diablo 3 was also one of those things that I pre-ordered and played on PC as well. Who knows? Maybe I'll switch teams and become a PC gamer. Come to the dark side. Weird how that works. So why is this tragic for me? When you look at Anthem, it doesn't really have the same narrative-driven story that you expect with a BioWare game. That is kind of what BioWare has always been known for. When you look at Mass Effect, when you look at Dragon Age, even when you look at KOTOR, it is a narrative-driven story based off of player decision. Well, Anthem obviously isn't really so much of that, even though when developing the game, they stated that was something that they were still going to do. They were like, the reason why this has never worked right and why it's never received well is because, well, no one's done it right. And we're working to change that. As of right now, it doesn't look like they even attempted to change that. I've watched a lot of streams of this game. And I did play the beta. And it controlled smooth. Just some issues getting in. I had some complaints about Fort Tarsis. I haven't played the full game. So I'm not going to give you like, oh, here's how I feel about the game. Because I sat on the fence with this game. I'm still at that point of where maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. And, I mean, the main reason why I do want to buy it is because Wolf and Saber are both playing it right now, and they absolutely love it. But I'm having issues finding that same motivation, but not the same passion of how I feel about BioWare. I love BioWare. There was a point in time I would have told you I would have bought anything that BioWare made. But I'm afraid this is going to end up in the closing of BioWare. I feel like this is going to be the end of the road for BioWare if this doesn't work out well. And the reason why I say that is EA is kind of notorious for buying up iconic developers and shutting them the shit down. Might wonder, what are you talking about? What iconic developers have they bought? We're going to get to that because I have a handy-dandy list here on my handy-dandy notebook. Yeah, I should have been a Blue's Clues host. So, BioWare, though, would easily be the most iconic of the developers on this list, at least by my opinion. I'm not saying the other developers weren't iconic in their own regards. I'm just saying BioWare has made some of the biggest worlds. At one point in time, BioWare was owned by Microsoft. Microsoft did their publishing. The first Mass Effect game, when it originally released, was an Xbox exclusive. So, I don't know. I don't think BioWare has the means to get themselves out from under EA. I don't think that's something that EA actually allows because, well, EA folded another company in to help BioWare on other games at one point. And I'm pretty sure when you go to EA owns you. So, like with Respawn, EA probably owns them. It's not like with Activision, where Bungie had a publishing deal. This is, you are now an EA studio, is I believe how EA works it. And obviously that was a complaint Activision had, and part of why they were letting Bungie go so easily is because they didn't own the IP to Destiny. That wasn't their thing. And EA owns thousands of IPs that they just sit on. Road Rash being a very prominent one. For those of you who are my age, you probably remember Road Rash pretty vividly. Or even American McGee's Alice. If American McGee wants to make another Alice game, he has to technically get EA's approval, I believe. Isn't that just fantastic? Those games are really good, by the way, if you've never played them. The American McGee Alice games are awesome. So, what studios, though, that you know of that EA has closed? Pandemic, that would probably be the... because I kind of did this in order of how much I cared. Pandemic made the original Battlefront games, like Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, you know, the ones that are iconic. They also made the Destroy All Human games. So you're almost like, damn, where the hell did they go wrong for EA to shut them down? EA shuts down anyone and everyone they can. Visceral Games? Yeah, they made the Dead Space games. That's what really put them on the map. Probably remember Dead Space. Pretty popular game. Probably one of the most iconic horror games of all time, at least for horror game fans. But Dead Space 3 didn't sell well, and the reason why was, well, microtransactions. Dead Space 3 really tried to push microtransactions on you, like hardcore. And you have to kind of think about this. This was last generation. This was Xbox 360 time period, and EA was still pushing those loot boxes that hardcore. And enough so that it killed Visceral. But Dead Space 3 wasn't very well received. But how can you make Dead Space 1 and 2, both of which are critically acclaimed, and then make Dead Space 3, which just fell flat? Like, it was still okay. Like, it didn't get review bombed. It would probably be like a 60-70 score game on Metacritic. And you're just like, yep, bye. Just one. Just one slip-up is all it took. BioWare's already got Mass Effect Andromeda under their belts. Trust me, I'm pretty sure that EA's willing to take their belt off and whip them like the redheaded stepchild right now. Next up is Bullfrog Games. Bullfrog Games was started by Peter Molyneux. They're known for quite a few older PC games. Westwood Studios. A lot of you are too old to remember Westwood Studios. They started Command & Conquer. They were Command & Conquer's originating point. Yeah, they got closed by EA. Origin Systems. Who's Origin Systems? In Origins the EA launcher? Isn't that how EA sells you their crap? It is. It also was a RPG called Ultima back in the day. Pretty popular RPG, actually. And yeah, they're closed. But they kept the name Origins because that's how they sell you their crap. Black Box. You know them for Mirror's Edge. The first one. The first Mirror's Edge is how you know them. They're gone. Bye-bye. Mirror's Edge didn't do well. I get it. It's like a cult hit now. People like it. The original. Not the second one I hear kind of fell flat. I didn't play the second one. I wasn't even... The first one was cool. Not really my style of game. I don't really like to just run the whole game. I can run in real life relatively well. So I don't need to play a game doing it. DreamWorks Interactive. But Nick, DreamWorks is still you're thinking of DreamWorks, the movie theater, or the movie company. DreamWorks Interactive was actually a development studio, and they mostly made movie tie-in games. However, they also are the ones who started the Medal of Honor series. DreamWorks started the Medal of Honor series. Then received some help from DICE towards the later ones, so developing it. And then they made the one where you could play as the Taliban, which sold terribly and got like banned from army bases and stuff. And EA was like, bum, done, gone, you're out the door. And last but not least, Maxis Studios. Well, that Maxis sounds familiar. That is the people who made SimCity. The original SimCity. Yes. So EA, keep in mind, all of these developers have probably made at least a game that failed for EA, but EA mostly wants your IPs, your properties. And the part that is most problematic here is EA doesn't really care about games, and a lot of publishers don't. They have no urge to care about these games. But they do care about money. They like money. So if I can buy a developer, this developer, they make pretty good games. They're selling really well. I can buy them. We can put some microtransactions into this game, and we can line our pockets with gold. Oh, people didn't like the microtransactions that we put in the game? Well, you're fired for not making a game they'd like with microtransactions. That is literally the thought process. And I'm not saying Activision's any better. Even Activision has a bunch of problems going on right now. Activision and EA's CEOs both just wound up on a highest, most overpaid, like not worth their money CEO list for the year. You don't do that because you're awesome. You do that because people think, really, you're paying this dude that much? And how long does it take before finally you push your fans away? How long before the fans leave? Because right now, you can already see these problems with GameStop. GameStop did a lot of these kinds of practices that people hated, and now GameStop is floundering. GameStop is slowly dying. We are seeing GameStop phase away. We're going to be talking about why GameStop's dying, because that's a very, very multifaceted issue. But guys, I'm curious to what you think. Are you liking Anthem? Obviously, I have. If you go over to my community tab, you can vote in that poll. Let me know how you feel about it. Also, if you have anything else to add, you can let me know in the comments down below. How sad would you be if BioWare went away? That's the real big question. If you want to follow me anywhere else, links are as always in the description box down below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. You can also click that subscribe button, stick around, ding the little bell. The bell supposedly will let you know when I actually upload, supposedly. And I'll have plenty more content coming for you, so see you soon.